Time now for sports news with Ayotunde Balogun.
Many thanks. Gimba Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed has received the newly crowned champions of the just concluded Channels International Kids Cup. That's LGA Central Primary School from Kayama local government area of the state. The governor praised the lads for being good ambassadors of the state and pledged his readiness to continue to encourage them in future. He then announced a donation of 2 million naira to the team.
The state is very proud of you. You have shown that at your age, you are very good ambassadors of Kwara. You did not only go there to win the trophy, but you did it in a very disciplined manner. So we would give all the support we can to ensure that these kids that have done us proud have access to improve on their footballing skills, improve on their academics.
Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed. In Spain, Zinedine Zidane has stepped down as Real Madrid Football Club manager after leading the Los Blancos to 3 Champions League titles in 2.5 seasons in charge. Zidane took over Real following the sacking of Rafa Benitez in January 2016 and won 3 successive Champions League titles, as well as the La Liga title in 2016-2017 season. The Frenchman also led Madrid to back-to-back European Super Cups and Club World Cups in 2016 and 2017. A reigning champion Rafael Nadal has eased into the French Open third round with a 6-2, 6-1, 6-1 defeat of Argentine Guido Pella. The 31-year-old wasted no time after saving 4 break points in the first game against the 78th ranked Pella. The Spanish world number 1 has now won his last 27 sets at Roland Garros, having captured a 10th title last year without dropping a set. And Serena Williams fought back from a set and a breakdown to beat Ashley Barty 3-6, 6-3, 6-4 to progress to round 3 at Roland Garros. Now the American, who has triumphed 3 times at the championship, is making her return after the birth of her daughter. Barty took the first set 6-3 with typically combative, speedy play, and Williams had it all to do to turn the match around. However, the 36-year-old rallied, breaking twice in the second set and then once in the third to win in 1 hour and 48 minutes. And that's a wrap on sports news. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. The news at 10 continues shortly.
3 victims of a fake AIDS cure created by former Gambian President Yahya Jammeh have sued him for damages. It is the first case against the ex-leader to reach a national court since he fled into exile. US-based charity AIDS Free World, which helped the 3 gather evidence, says that they filed a lawsuit at the High Court in the capital, Banjul. Jammeh, who ruled Gambia for 22 years, was plagued with accusations of human rights abuses. He would sometimes rub ointment on victims' bodies in sessions broadcast live on television. People were afraid to criticize him when he was in power, so doctors and patients publicly declared that his medicines were working. Jammeh's claims hundreds of real HIV works in Gambia, which trails behind other African countries in treatment rates. It also worsened stigma against people living with HIV and AIDS and stripped them of dignity. He's expected to be tried in absentia. The United States is set to impose a 25% tax on steel and 10% tax on aluminum from the EU, Mexico and Canada tonight. The move has triggered promises of retaliation from Mexico and the EU, which has described the tariffs as protectionism, pure and simple. The UK says that it is disappointed by the US decision despite weeks of negotiations. US Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross announced the sanctions from Paris, where he had been negotiating with EU leaders who were trying to avert the tariffs. Ross said that talks had not made enough progress to warrant a further reprieve for Europe or Canada and Mexico, which are in negotiations with the US over North America's free trade agreement. And the main news again, the hope of young Nigerians aspiring to hold political offices was raised today as President Muhammad Buhari signed the not too young to run bill into law, but with a caveat: they must wait until after 2019. Also today, the House of Representatives passed the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. For the second time, the lawmakers threw out electronic voting from the document. And President Donald Trump today imposed metal tariffs on key allies, EU, Canada and Mexico. He also vowed to retaliate actions. And that's how it's been on the news at 10 tonight. I want to thank you so much indeed for watching. On behalf of all of us here, have a splendid night. Good night.